Mr. DLNRao, a highly esteemed senior advocate at the Karnataka High Court, is recognized as one of India's most respected legal experts, with over 50 years of distinguished service in the legal field. Renowned for his deep knowledge of mining laws, Mr. Rao is considered the leading authority on the subject in the country. Beyond his courtroom contributions, he was instrumental in the successful completion of Bangalore's underground metro rail system, a milestone in the city's infrastructure development. Born in March 1949 to Srimati D. Sudhabal and Sri Gundu Rao, Mr. Rao comes from a family with a rich legal tradition, being a fifth-generation lawyer. He earned his BSc from St. Joseph's College, Bangalore, followed by his law degree from Sri Renukacharya Law College, Bangalore. His passion for law was kindled by his father, a prominent lawyer in Bellary, which inspired him to rise to prominence in the legal community. Mr. Rao is admired not only as a legal expert, but also for his multifaceted personality. He is well regarded both within the legal profession and in broader society. His love for sports, particularly cricket, along with his enthusiasm for tennis and golf, is well known. As he marks 50 remarkable years of legal practice, Team VAKEELA VAAHINI congratulates Dr. DLNRao and wishes him continued health, success and satisfaction in the future. His journey serves as a source of inspiration to many, and his enduring legacy in the legal profession continues to shine brightly.
Greetings from VAKEELA VAAHINI.
Thank you.
A monthly bilingual magazine which showcases the works of advocates on legal issues and various judgments of various courts. And today I am doing a maiden podcast with my senior, my mentor and my guru in the profession, Shri DLNRao, who is a very simple, highly ethical, erudite and very knowledgeable advocate.
Thank you.
And he's been in the litigation for more than 50 years. And I can go on, sir, with this, but I think we will do just a comfortable chat.
Good.
So you keep asking me what is podcast.
Yes.
So podcast is an audio video file which is put up on the internet of any conversations or any kind of video content which will bring out some content for people. It can be of any issue. So if you remember, in olden days we used to have these transistors where people
That's
just
right.
hold and
Correct.
and you can be doing many things. You can be going in the bus or you may be buying vegetables and then they will be listening to something. So like this, when people go around, they can just carry in their mobiles this file, audio file or video file, and then when people talk and converse, that conversation can be an inspiration or a motivation for them. So that is the whole idea of these podcasts. Sometimes it is giving out your knowledge, that also they do. But sir, today my thought process is in this way, that we've got many gems in our legal profession, and not all of them may have the luxury or the liberty to come out with a book like Roses in December, maybe. But I feel in every advocate, there is some hidden talent. There is something that everyone, we all have something to offer for the next generation. So sir, I thought I will start a podcast with advocates, just conversations. And my goal is to see that these conversations become content for the next generation and for our peers, our contemporaries, whoever. That was my purpose. And this is my maiden podcast, sir, and I request or need your blessings.
God bless
for
you.
this.
And I should say I'm really honored by VAKEELA VAAHINI for giving me this chance to say a few things and share my thoughts with you.
So we'll just have just one-on-one conversation, like how we do in office.
I know, I
so
understand.
like that we will do.
Yes, yes.
So let's, sir, I want to begin, sir, just to understand. Can you just pinpoint any incident or a thought or some motivation? I know you are a fifth generation advocate and your forefathers, who were all lawyers, practiced in Bellary district. And I also had the good fortune of meeting your father, who is said to be the master of pleadings. Yes. And had the shortest of the pleadings with the maximum effect. That's what even other judges and all have told about this. So what is that one thought or motivation that made you become lawyers, or apart from the fifth generation thing? Because none of your brothers are lawyers. It's just that you chose. How come?
Now that you asked me, I should say my journey from Ballari to Bangalore.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I studied my schooling and PU in Ballari.
Okay.
Came to St. Joseph's College for my graduation.
Here in Bangalore.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
And thereafter, every time when I used to go home for holidays, I used to closely observe my father because he had a home office.
I see.
So I used to go sit there in one corner and watch him. That was the first time I used to observe him so closely, though not when I was in Ballari as a student. I come from a very religious and orthodox family.
Okay.
So when I was sitting there, one day an old lady, rather a middle-aged lady came. She is a widow with a son, complaining to my father that after the death of her husband, she was driven out of the house by her brothers-in-law and in-laws.
Okay.
There are a lot of landed properties. She came there. She wanted some relief.
Okay.
My father said, yes, we can file a partition suit. And this is quite normal, you see, in every office. What moved me both emotionally, and I had some tears in my eyes, so also I noticed in my father's face, was the fact that when she was asked to deposit certain amount towards expenses and fees, she removed from an old bag a big silver chambo, as you remember, a big pot.
A bit pot, yeah, which we
Silver
use
pot.
for water,
Yes.
filling up water. And
Or maybe when you do some pujas, you use that.
keep that as kalash.
Kalash,
Keep
yes.
a kalash and all, okay.
She removed and said, you are like my father.
Okay,
And ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
I see.
ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ. ನನಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. She had come in a bullock cart. You remember the olden days bullock cart with a...
There used to be a
yes,
hut, I mean like a
hut-like
shelter.
thing, shelter. She came there. Then my father, as I told you, was emotionally moved in tears. He called his clerk, a devoted clerk, and told him, don't take one pipe from her. Then he immediately called my mother from inside and said, as long as she is here for filing the case, you please provide food for her.
Okay.
And shelter. That village lady, she was virtually given shelter in our house, and food was provided, and she also had brought her own roti and all that kind of things. And then this moved. There are two things which moved me very, very closely when I was observing him to become a lawyer is, one, the devotion and dedication and the discipline that he had to get justice for the downtrodden, especially. Second, an element of social work. You see, he is not fleecing the client, he was trying to help the client in all possible ways. So this I was watching during my holidays when I used to come from St. Joseph's College.
To home.
Yes. And that prompted me to become a lawyer. Why can't I be also a lawyer like him? I started observing him. Then after my graduation, I told him that I would like to be a lawyer. I want to join a law college. But one thing I must very, very clearly tell you, that he never forced me to join a law college.
Okay.
He said, choice is yours. You can do what you want. Join any profession you like. I don't force you. But when I told him I want to become a lawyer, he was extremely happy. So I joined the law college, and after I graduated from the law college, you see, I was underage to enroll myself as a lawyer.
I see.
Then I thought I'll do a postgraduate diploma in social service administration, an accredited school of social work in Bangalore. And it's a different thing that I stood first in the whole institution.
Okay, for that course.
Yes, and my father very humorously told me that if you can get the first rank I can imagine the standard of the institute.
Oh, I see. Okay. So he didn't have much of a great opinion that
had
you will
lot
do
of
something
humor,
very
yeah.
great. Correct.
He had a
Yeah.
lot of humor in him.
Okay.
That perhaps I also inherited to a certain
That's
extent.
nice.
Then that's how I joined law, and then did a course, then enrolled in 1970. But I must tell you one thing, when I was doing that course, two things I did. One is a dissertation on communication skills in industries
I see.
between the labor and the management.
And the management, yeah, that was. I
That
think
was-
those days,
yes, very
labor
essential.
and unions
Correct.
and management. Those are the maximum litigations apart from land.
Yes.
Is what we have heard. Yeah.
Yes, and unless there is a proper communicative skills, you cannot easily solve even a smallest
Disputes or
of the
conflict
small
between both.
problems or disputes, as you rightly said. The second thing is, I helped one of my colleagues in the college who was doing a study on live convicts in the central jail. The present Freedom Park was the central jail at
Correct.
that time.
In city.
So for 30 days we used to go early in the morning, live with the life convicts till our college starts, then rush to the college.
Okay.
That is how I got an insight into all kinds of criminals who are convicted. But I must tell you, not all of them, did it with a purpose. Quite a few of them, you see, certain challenges in their lives.
Okay.
You see, suddenly provocation is there. One of the famous cases at that time was a student was provoked in Government Arts College to go and take action against the principal, who was extraordinarily strict. This guy took an iron rod and smashed his head. So he was convicted.
Grave provocation at
Yes.
that point of time.
And there's a lot of remorse in him when I tried to speak to him. And then I had a detailed conversation with the jailers there. That is how, the concept of socio-economic development of life convicts started there. See, the jailers and the warden, they started looking at the skills of each one of them, whether they are interested in carpentry for their future, what kind of smithy work that they would get involved into, and there are different kinds of skill work at that time. They were all given training, but the only worst part at that time was the kind of food they were being served. That was a tragedy. I couldn't stand that food even for a day, but I couldn't show that to the life convicts. So I shared their food for nearly 1 month. Then finally, when I was coming out, I told the warden, please improve this. Or you also sit with them and eat. You will realize, half hungry, half fed, they're all human beings. They have their own rights, human rights. Because after I saw that old lady being helped, an element of social work came into my mind along with doing this profession. That is how I came into this. I graduated from a school of social work, and as you know, during the course of my profession, I've done a lot of social work.
Yes, yes.
And also as a director of a bank, I did a lot of social work, especially in Chennai. I must quote this. When there was a lot of floods, Chennai was literally submerged. People were getting on top of the terrace.
Few years. When
And lot of people, help came from several quarters in the form of clothing, ready to eat food and things like that. I was wondering I should do something different.
Okay.
Then I suddenly thought of cattle.
For
Imagine
animals.
cattle sheds.
Okay.
Nobody is bothered about animals, they are starving.
So they become secondary.
Yes. So I took a challenge through the officers of the bank, went to Chennai, went to a few shelters, got them fodder, and then I told them to take care of them. That was a very, very important thing in my life. Which
Because man and animal both have to
Have the
exist,
same
and each
kind of
one has to
right.
depend on
Yes.
each other. So saving
They have no
and-
voice to talk.
that is one. And
Unfortunately.
we also depend on animals, no, sir,
Correct.
for their milk and
So
their
many things, yes.
so both. If just, it's not that only man survives and animal don't survive. So that's a very good
Even
thought.
for tilling the lands, You see, you need those animals.
So that's very nice.
Yeah, that's how
So this
I
what
started.
you just now explained, sir, gives me a complete basis or foundation to what I think can have a very good conversation. So this empathy, compassion, and some what shall I say, soft corner. I think Justice Sikri was telling that every man should have some feminine aspect
That's right.
also in your heart.
Correct.
And the what shall I say, the empathy for humans itself, for basic things like food. I think all this together has made you, and it is quite visible in the profession that I have been with you for these many years to see.